talking live at sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck, man. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. It really means the world to me. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. As I always try to do, shoot my mouth off. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box I get every like 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if something does get put in there, I see it, and I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. And, it's nice sometimes just to get, sometimes, I just get talking. And sometimes it's just nice just to talk to another human being. You know what I mean? So please feel free, throw something in the chat box. All right. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link. Okay. Takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. There's loyalty badges. Okay. Each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet. Now, each Giants helmet, each one, there's 8 of them. They're all different helmets. The older the helmet is, okay, the helmet Giants design is and all, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet, okay, associated with your name, you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. There's 4 emojis. Eventually, there will be a 5th one coming out, but right now there's 4 emojis. I had them made up on Fiverr. Okay, I mean, every time I look at them, they crack me up. That you can use them in the chat box, or if we're going live or anything like that, put in a comment or something. So I said eventually there'll be a 5th one coming out, but right now there's 4 of them. So if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. And then if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go down below, hit the bell icon, and hit that subscribe button. And that way, next time I go live or put a video out or whatever, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, huh? Right now, I'm at 5,563 subscribers. I just went over the 5,500 subscriber mark. About, what the hell was it? 2 weeks back, I guess it was. Right around there. I hit the 5,000 subscriber mark. I couldn't believe it. I never thought in a million. I've been doing this I started this in March 2021. So it's been almost 2 years. And I never thought in a million years I'd have over 5,000 subscribers. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. So right now I'm up to 5,563. I started today with 5,531. So 32. I ain't a rocket scientist, guys. I've gone 32 subscribers so far today. So even since the season's been over with, I'm still going up like 20, 30, 40 subscribers a day. It's absolutely fantastic. So possibly by another week or so, whatever, I may almost up around like close to 6,000 subscribers. Whew, wow, holy cow. But anyway, it's free of charge. So please go down, hit that bell icon, hit the subscribe button, right? And it would mean, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And then finally, in the description box below too, okay, there's 2 additional links, 2 Facebook links. One takes you, the top one, okay, takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants. I keep it really simple for myself because I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, right? So even I can remember it. My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and the Facebook page are all called the New York Giants, the Gridiron, right? But the top link in the description box, the top Facebook link, takes you to the group. Right now we have over 2,100 members in there. Okay. I try to put like at least 10 things in there every day that I can. I just put something in there. Not that everybody wants to hear this, but Xavier McKinney was talking to Evan Ingram. He said, "What's up, bro? You trying to come back?" And Evan Ingram said, "Damn, I love New York." So I don't know about that, but yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to come to fruition. But, every day I try to put at least 10 things in there, right? And not only that, but if you become a member of the group, you post stuff in there as well, too. So not only the stuff I put in there every day, but there's members putting stuff in there. So there's a ton of stuff going in the New York Giants, the Gridiron, the Facebook group, okay? Then the other link, okay, the second Facebook link, okay, takes you to my New York Giants, the Gridiron, but it's a page, okay? I'm the administrator. I'm the only one who posts in here. But I said, it's just like with the group. I try to get like 10 things in there every day. Sometimes now that the season's over with, it's a little more difficult to come up with stuff, different stuff. I don't want to keep posting about, something about Daniel Jones and his contract. So I try to get different stuff in there every day. So it's a little more difficult now that the season's over with, and we're kind of like in a little bit of a lull. There's no free agencies going on. The draft isn't going on, you know what I mean? So it's a little more difficult, but I try to get as much stuff as I can in there every day. So between the page and the group, whether I'm putting a video in there, whether I'm putting up something that has some stats on it, or whether I'm just putting a picture of like Lawrence Taylor, or anything, a post from somebody, I try to get as much stuff in there as I can every day. So between the page and the group, I try to get like about 20 different things in there every day, right? So go to right now on the page, we have 591 people who like it. We're getting close to 600 people who like it, but there's over 2,300 followers on the page, right? So go to the page, like it and follow it, and then go to the Facebook group, the New York Giants Facebook group, and become a member of that, okay? And between the two, you get a boatload of New York Giants information every day. As I say all the time, if you're not happy, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, well, so all that stuff out of the way, right? You hear, could you really imagine, like, it didn't happen. Obviously, it wasn't going to happen, all that. But you could imagine Daniel Jones took us to the Super Bowl. Not even maybe he was one to see. Imagine if it was the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the New York Giants. Could you imagine what Daniel Jones might be wanting them? It wouldn't be $50 million, but every playoff game he won, the price was going up and up and up. If he knocked off the Eagles and then say we went out to San Francisco and knocked off the 49ers, which we could have, because I guess if they would have had their 13th string quarterback in there, the Giants would have a chance of winning that one too. But could you imagine? But in the beginning of the year, I looked like a no-brainer. You turn down his fifth-year option. It's like they're going to pay him 22, whatever it was, 22 and a half or something like that for his fifth-year option. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. I know I was thinking it. A lot of people out there, too, are thinking the same thing. Well, Daniel Jones, dude, fifth-year option, dude. You ain't going to be around here for the fifth year. You're going to be a free agent, pal. $22 million for Daniel. You got, I don't know what you're smoking, brother. Well, oh, yeah. He made a jackass out of a lot of us, didn't he? Well, a lot of it, it just goes to show you what coaching can do. Because let's be honest. The man did not have the greatest offensive line, right? Did not have anywhere close to, an outstanding support cast, characters as far as throwing the ball to. We got guys from other teams, guys off of practice squads. David Sills and Myrick and Hudson and, Pager. Vinette. Who the heck? Right? He did it. He did probably pretty much about as best as he could. Well, he had 6 interceptions. He had 5 in the regular season. Okay, he only played 16 games, but still 5. He had won the first game, back shoulder fade, tried it to Saquon in the end zone. That almost cost us the game because that took certainly, if he just threw the ball out of bounds and we had to kick a field goal, right? The field goal that the Titans missed at the end of the game wouldn't have mattered because the Giants, well, then again, it's tough to say. Tough to say. That's a good point. Giants scored that touchdown at the end of the game. Would they have gone for 2? Very interesting. Because if they kicked the field goal, instead of, if Daniel Jones didn't throw that interception and they kicked the field goal, right, they may not have needed to go for 2. Very interesting. And maybe they were just gone for 1. Who knows? But anyway, but Daniel Jones, okay, you figure that you take that 1 interception, right? So you take that one. So the final 15 games Daniel Jones played in, because he didn't play in the last one, right? The last one of the season, shall we say. He threw 4 interceptions. I mean, pretty impressive, right? He had 7 rushing touchdowns, 15 passing touchdowns. I mean, obviously nothing phenomenal, but let's be honest. Whether you hate the guy, you like the guy, this, that, the guy, whatever, right? Yeah. And I said, because I despise the Eagles. Let's see what Jalen Hurts would have done with this offensive line and with those wide receivers / tight ends. Let's see what Jalen Hurts would have done. Yep. Nope. I mean, I'm not saying he would have, but would he had the numbers Jalen Hurts had? Absolutely not. I mean, he's got to stand behind the best offensive line in football. Brown, right? Goddard, DeVonta Smith. I mean, come on, So you got to look at it like that in a certain respect. So, I mean, the 15 passing touchdowns, yeah, that's not super spectacular. But as I said, you got to look at the supporting cast he had. So he was responsible for 22 touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns, which was by far, actually, I think that more. What did, let me see. Where are we at here? Did he have 5 in his first 3? That's not it. Let's see here, home. He had 5 rushing touchdowns, I think it was. Yeah. First year. What's so weird? His first game with the Giants, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. The rest of the year, he had none. I mean, against Tampa Bay, he had 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. And the rest of the year, he didn't rush for a touchdown. Weird. But then in 2020, he had 1 rushing touchdown, and in 2021, he had 2. So his first 3 seasons in the NFL, he had 5 rushing touchdowns. This year, he had 7. Okay. And by far, I mean, this is by far the most rushing yards he had was 708. So, I mean, you look at, so he had 708 rushing yards. I mean, obviously his passing yards were not, anything to really be writing home with mom about. I mean, 3,200. I mean, 16 games, so basically 200 yards a game, which certainly, once again, is not much to write home about. But, what the coaching staff did was they took a square peg and they put it in a square hole. It's not like Daniel Jones is a square peg, and our offense is a round hole. So we're going to take this square peg and we're going to put the square peg on top of the round hole, and we're just going to smash it with a hammer to make it fit the offense. No, it's like, it's like, what do we have? What quarterback do we have? What weapons do we have? What offensive line do we have? What can we do, okay, to, be as productive as we can without blowing the game, without losing the game, and also stay competitive too. All right. So, I mean, that's what they did. I mean, they pretty much based their offense as much. I mean, as if they had Tyreek Hill and Waddle out there running around and Kelsey out there or the Skittle man from San Francisco as a tight end, hey, I'm sure they'd be, and they had the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. Yeah, I'm guessing they could start winging the ball all over the field, right? But the Giants did not have that. So they had to work with what they had, right? I mean, the 15 touchdown pass, but he only had 5 interceptions, 1.1 interception percentage. I mean, his first year was 2.6. Then he went down to 2. I mean, each year he's gone down. All right, the turnover machine. He went from 2.6 to 2.2 to 1.9 to this year 1.1. He was either tied at 1.1. I might have been with Brady. He was either tied or he was the best at 1.1%. All right. Now, obviously, a lot of that too is, it was like a lot of short passes, right? Keeping the ball out of harm's way. All right. But still, he only had, obviously 15. He played, so he started 16 games, only had 15 touchdown passes. So less than one touchdown pass a game is not exactly stellar. That's not exactly what you're looking for. But once again, look at the offensive line he had. Look at the weapons he had to throw the ball to. He had Kadarius Toney, right? The dude's you can't cover the dude, but the guy can't walk onto the field without popping his ACL, or pulling a hamstring, just. He had Sterling Shepard, right? But how long does Sterling Shepard last? With the third game of the year, right? Had Wan'Dale Robinson, right? But he got injured too. Had Kenny Golladay. He was supposed to be somewhat of a star, but didn't want to really use him. When we did use him, put him in maybe 2-3 plays a game, maybe 5 plays a game at the most. So he had weapons. They just either got hurt, they got traded, or we just didn't use them. Okay. Now, it's not like he can't, or he hasn't shown in the past that he can be productive, because let's not forget, before we had 2 years of the clapper, we had Pat Shurmur calling plays. Now, let's not forget with Pat Shurmur, okay, he was in 13 games his rookie season. To me, he's in, yes, he was. He was in there for what? One drive against the Dallas Cowboys his first season. So I don't even count that. He played in 12 games. He started 12. He played 12 full games. He was also injured toward the end of the year. That's when Eli had to come in, right? And Eli's last victory was at home against the Dolphins, right? But in 2019, let's see, he had 12 games, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. All right, he had the 19 fumbles as well, too. I think he lost 16 of them. So between, 16 lost fumbles and 12 interceptions, he lost 28. So that's horrible. That's absurd. But once again, that's come way down. He only had 6 fumbles this year. Now, also, let's not forget the first game of the season, all right, he got, I forgot, I don't know, it was Simmons or who waffled him from behind, right? His back, right, it was turned. Like somebody nailed him from behind. He fumbled the ball. Tennessee got it. Okay, we held them to a field goal, I believe it was. But out of it, so he lost 4 fumbles, I think, this year, and he had in just regular season. I'm talking about, just regular season, and he had 5. So he had 9 turnovers, right, during the regular season, right. 2 of them were in the first game. So after the first game, he had in his final 15 games of the regular season, he only had 7 turnovers. So basically, he had 1 turnover every 2 games after the first game. Right. So, he really has done a very good job at cutting that down. But I'm saying, his first year, right, in 12 games, he had to for over 3,000 yards. Right. He had 24 touchdown passes. So basically, it's, his first year, he had 12 starts, played 12 complete games. 24 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown passes per game. This year, which a lot of people say is his best year, which it was, and for many categories and all, okay. But this year, which was his best year, he threw for less than a touchdown a game. All right, but he can be, with some weapons out there, right? Because he had Sterling Shepard there in 19. He had obviously Evan Ingram was there. Saquon Barkley was there, so he had his weapons. But with Pat Shurmur calling plays, he had 24 touchdown passes, right? So it's not like he can't throw them. Then we had the 2 years with Jason Garrett. He had 21 touchdown passes and 17 interceptions. Not very spectacular. And they didn't want to use him really much as a runner like they did this year. I'm just kind of happy and surprised and all that he wound up running that much, okay, this past season, and he didn't get hurt, because a lot of times he he gets injured a lot of times. I think it was against Cincinnati. He hurt himself. I think it's like sliding, But how much is he worth? Well, the franchise tag is 32. I mean, obviously, you go back hindsight, it's 50-50, it's 50-50 and all that. And obviously, they should have picked up the fifth-year options. I mean, that would have saved themselves quite a bit of money. But franchise tag is 32. Now, one other thing, and it's all guaranteed money. Now, another one of the things is that, they just franchise tag it for a couple of years. I believe the franchise tag, I think it goes up. So, I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if they would franchise them this year and next year, it's all guaranteed money. All right. I think that's all cap hit right up. I think that it comes right off the cap. So I don't know if you can finagle with the numbers at all or anything. So the 32 might have to come right off the cap. And the Giants only have like 44 million right now. So, okay. They can work maybe, they're going to let Kenny Golladay go. They can maybe work Leonard Williams' contract a little bit, change that up, maybe save some extra money. But I believe it. I mean, if they have 44 million, if they franchise tag, I have to franchise tag them. I think that's all money right now. Okay. So that would really be a big hit to their salary cap. If they sign them to a 3-year to 5-year deal, right, they can work the numbers where salary cap hit won't be that big this year, right? So I mean the franchise tag is 32. I mean we got to look at some of these numbers here, and honestly, some of these, what some of these active players are making here. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, right? Average per year, right? He's making $50 million, right? Now, obviously the man can throw the football and all this stuff and everything and whatnot. But unfortunately with Aaron, one thing Aaron, I'm sure he knows. Obviously, I'm not telling him anything new. But, the more you want, the less the team can have, right? That's why, it's, like when Tom Brady goes to Super Bowls and he has a lot of guys around him, or Jalen Hurts, right? That's because he's not making that much money. So therefore, they can stockpile a lot of good talent around him. Well, one thing with Aaron Rodgers is wanting all this money, wanting $50 million. There's not that much money left to go around for the rest of the team. Okay. I'm not saying he ain't worth 50. The dude can, the way the guy can just throw the ball is absolutely phenomenal, right? But he's like somebody's going to blow him out of it. Maybe when his contract's up, I bet he might blow Aaron. Well, I'm not going to blow him out of the water, but I can see him, Joey Burrows, being the top guy, right? Russell Wilson is number 2. I mean, guys, after looking what Russell Wilson did this past season, okay, and Russell Wilson had some wide receivers. Hey, I wouldn't mind having Jerry Jeudy out there, would you? Yeah. Russell Wilson is making $48.5 million average per year. Who would you rather have? What quarterback would you rather have after this season was over with? Would you rather have Russell Wilson or would you rather have Daniel Jones, right? Well, Russell Wilson's making $48.5 million. Then we got Kyler Murray, who had to make more money than Deshaun Watson. For some reason, he thinks he should make more than Deshaun Watson. So that Deshaun Watson's making $46 million a year. Well, Kyler Murray, for some reason, it's like we're back in kindergarten here. I want to make more money than him. So Kyler Murray had to make $46,100,000. Who the frick cares? The way Kyler's hurt. I'm not sure, how if he'll be back in time for the regular season or not. But if Kyler's not surrounded, Kyler's had what, Hopkins, Fitzgerald, right? AJ Green, Zach Ertz, a tight end. they put some good wide receivers in front of Kyler Murray, right? And how many playoff games has Kyler Murray won? Less than Daniel Jones, right? And Kyler Murray wanted $46 million, right? Deshaun Watson, he's making 46, all guaranteed. But gotta love the Browns on that one. So, I mean, unfortunately, because now it's like, all the quarterbacks are going to, maybe not all the quarterbacks, but some of them their agents are going to go, well, going to go to the teams. Well, how much you paying? Oh, we'll give the quarterback this much million per year. Okay. I mean, that's all guaranteed, right? I mean, Deshaun Watson's all guaranteed, right? So, I mean, since his is all guaranteed, we want all, I mean, way to go, Browns. Yeah. I mean, so the Browns guaranteed all Deshaun Watson's money, and the other 31 owners are throwing the bird at the Browns because, I don't know if it's a written, unwritten rule or whatever it is. I mean, you don't guarantee all the money. I mean, but it just goes to show you how competitive things are, that teams are going to go out there and, do what it does, do what it takes just to get a good quarterback. If you get somebody to Deshaun Watson's caliber, I guess they're just doing what it takes. So now Deshaun looked a little rusty this year. Okay. Say the least. Maybe he'll, I don't know, stay out of the massage parlors, right? And maybe, he'll get back on the right track next year. But I mean, you look, I mean, guys, at the end of this season, who would you rather have? Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, or Daniel Jones? Right? Then we go to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes at $45 million. Okay. And then Josh Allen's $43 million. I mean, obviously, I'm sure we would all probably agree. Although Josh Allen did seem to take a little step back this year. Josh Allen seemed to be a little bit more of a turnover machine this year. And Daniel Jones, was like an angel compared to Josh Allen's turnovers. But Josh Allen is still, he's a sheriff. He's the man, right? So, we've seen him take over playoff games and run people over and this, that, and the other thing and all. So, but also interesting to see how he keeps faring now that Daboll's not there, right? But anyway, I think we all agree that Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are, like the cream of the crop, right? They're up there, right? As far as, you can say maybe 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or however you want to put it, but they're up there. I mean, those guys, the money. Mahomes is making 45. Josh Allen's making 43. Those guys deserve what they get. Okay. But, then you start looking after that. Derek Carr, right, he's making 40. Dak Prescott making 40. Matthew Stafford's making 40. All right. Now, Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl. He had a bunch of guys around him. They even got Odell Beckham Jr. in there, right? So they loaded up the talent around them. All right. Dak Prescott obviously can't win a playoff game, but he won the one. He did win the one, but when you load him up with talent, right? He does well. He's also was a turnover machine this year as well too, throwing a lot of interceptions. They had a lot of, the Cowboys had a lot of talent, a good offensive line. Good guys to throw the ball, Pollard and Zeke, and they had some talent. He could put up some points, right? But he's making $40 million. I said Derek Carr, all right, he's making 40 and a half. Matthew Stafford, who won a Super Bowl, is making 40. All right. Then we got Kirk Cousins. All right. Now Kirk Cousins had a very good year this year, but once again, if you had Dalvin Cook in the backfield, if you had Hawkinson, I'm still scratching my head on why the Lions got rid of him. I have no idea why, but they have Hawkinson, right? It just seems like you throw the same him and Jefferson. It seems like you throw the ball in their zip code, they come down with it, right? And then Adam Thielen, he's got some weapons to throw the ball to. He had a very good year. But once again, look who he's throwing the ball to. If we had Justin Jefferson out there running around, I'm sure Daniel Jones's numbers would be a lot better than that, wouldn't they, huh? But, we got to start looking. Then we got Jared Goff. He's at 33.5. I did very, 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 very well this year with the Detroit Lions. Surprisingly, very well with the Detroit Lions. I was really happy for them. I mean, they've been so bad for so long. Really happy for them. I hope they keep it up. That would be really good. And Campbell, the coach, very, 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 very pleasantly surprised. But I mean, you got to start looking. I mean, Carson Wentz is making 32. Matt Ryan is only making 30. Okay, but you got Tannehill's making 29.5. I mean, what do you think Daniel Jones is going to be at? I mean, Carson Wentz is making 32. Wouldn't you rather have Daniel Jones than Carson Wentz? And Carson's making 32, right? I said you got Jared Goff making 33.5. Now he signed that contract a few years ago, I believe it was. Okay. But I mean, Jared Goff, they came into MetLife Stadium. They opened up a can of whoop ass on the Giants, right? But 33.5. But I mean, Kirk Cousins is at 35 million. Right? I mean, Kirk Cousins is a very good quarterback, but as I said, once again, look who's throwing the ball to, right? I mean, I can certainly see where Daniel Jones would be, in the Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins range. I mean, certainly he's higher than Carson Wentz. Matty Ice is, he's been around. I mean, he's been around for a while. He's probably not too far from retiring, right? I say Ryan Tannehill's making 29.5. I'm sorry, I'd rather have Daniel Jones than Ryan Tannehill, right? So I mean, you put him up around like the Kirk Cousins range, somewhere in there. I mean, if Kirk Cousins had the Giants' offensive line and the Giants' weapons to throw the ball to, Kirk Cousins' numbers this year would be way down there. Okay, way down there. So I said, so some of these guys are getting really good numbers, but you got to look at who they're throwing the ball to, who's surrounding them, right? So, I mean, for Daniel Jones, I mean, as I said, being right around the Kirk Cousins, I mean, I can certainly see 35 million. I mean, see a lot of reports out there, he might get 33 to 35 or something. I mean, I can certainly say, I mean, it also depends too. It depends upon the length of it. Now, you got to start thinking about this. Daniel, we'll give you 35 million or whatever, right? Whatever, 30 million guaranteed, however they work the numbers out. I don't know. We'll give you 35 right, for 3 years, right? Or 4 years. Well, we'll keep it short, but which in one respect, so it's good and bad. So the Giants aren't held down to a long-term contract with Daniel Jones. Case just as he's one and done. Just say, right? Or the next bunch of years he starts getting hurt again, right? So then the Giants start thinking, geez, we only signed him for 3 or 4 years or so. Yeah, maybe we might want to get rid of him. Said just in case he's one and done. Or as I said, the injury bug keeps popping up and he can't stay healthy. The Giants can get out after a couple of years, right? So instead of a long-term contract, but also if they sign him to a short, 3-4 years, good for Daniel Jones too, because they sign him to say 35, 36, 37 million, right? Well, in 3 or 4 years, right, that quarterback, the salary cap is going to go up. I mean, there's supposed to be some decent TV revenue, I think, coming in. So within the next year or two, that salary cap is going to be jumping up. And then when you get like Joe Burrows, Justin Herbert, some of those boomers out there resetting the quarterback market, I mean, I could see Burrows getting 50 million a year. I mean, because Patrick, he may not be quite as good as Patrick Mahomes. However, Patrick Mahomes' contract was a couple of years ago, right? So when Burrows is due for his contract or contract extension, or I could certainly see him getting 50. The same thing with maybe Justin Herbert. Now the thing is with Burrows and Herbert, they're picking up the 5th-year option on those guys, right? There's no that's a no-brainer right there. But when it comes to signing them to a contract, right, I certainly see Burrows getting 50 without question. And I'm sure Herbert will probably get over at least 40, if not more. So the thing is that Daniel Jones can keep up his good play. Hopefully he might have a different offensive coordinator when Kafka leaves. But the coach and the coach's plays will still remain. Okay. But I mean, if Daniel Jones can keep progressing, right? If he only signs a 3 or 4 year deal, right? Then the quarterback market once again be reset, the numbers will go up. So if he's only making 35 or 37 now, all right, in 3 or 4 years, he might be able to get 45, right? So a shorter term deal right now, 3, 4 years, might be best for both. Might be best for the Giants, just in case, as I said, for whatever reason. If he winds up being a 1 year wonder, it doesn't seem like that. Or if he just keeps getting injured all the time, right? That a short-term deal would help the Giants. And also, so once again, a short-term deal would also help Daniel Jones because, in 3 or 4 years, and take about 35, 36 now, 37, whatever. But, in 3 or 4 years, that quarterback, right, is going to go up. So then he can get another contract. He'll still be, I guess, under 30 years of age. He can cash in on another contract and boom. Now, instead of making 35 to 37, now, boom, he might be making 45. I mean, especially if he leads the Giants to the playoffs a couple times, two or three times out of 3 or 4 years, right? Win a couple playoff games, maybe go to a championship game or something like that. His stock's going up. The quarterback market's going up. So he can cash in again. The Giants now sign him to to a 5 or 6 year deal, whatever. But instead of him making just 35 or 37, boom. Right. So if he wants to bet on himself, put the chips in the middle of the table, kind of like what Dak Prescott did with the Cowboys, right? Bet on himself, right? Okay, I'll take 30, whatever. I'll take 36, 37 for the next 3 years. Okay, no problem. Chips in the middle of the table. I'll be the first one there every day. I'll be the last one to leave. And let me tell you what, after 3 years when my contract's over, you're going to have to pay. Right, because I'm betting it all on myself. Chips in the middle of the table, baby, and you're going to be paying me 45 to 50 million when that contract's up. So that might be best for the both. I mean, instead of something long term, right, where you're tied down to them, right? Where Daniel Jones, I said, if a short contract's up, Daniel Jones can cash in and get well over 40 then maybe. I mean, right now it seems like I wouldn't say it would only take like one. I mean, if somehow the Giants wanted to put one of those tags on him where he can go out and talk to other teams, it'd only take one team to help blow him out of the water. And one team, so and so, offers him $45 million or whatever a year. Giants might get a couple draft picks or whatever, but. Yeah, Giants might be left standing without a quarterback. So do you want to really let them test the free agent market or not? Because it just takes one team with a lot of money or with some money just to blow Daniel Jones's contract out of the water, right? With a nice big number, and Daniel Jones might be gone. So hopefully, they can always put the franchise tag on him before free agency starts. And then the Giants have until it's somewhere like July 7th or the middle of July or whatever to get a deal done where they can rip up the franchise tag and the long term and the contract will take over. So, I mean, if worse comes to worse, it looks like that, the Giants can't get something done before free agency starts. They'll probably put the franchise tag on them. Right. And then they'll have until like the summertime to work out a deal. Right. The problem is that if you want to put the franchise tag on him, right, then you can't put the franchise tag on Saquon Barkley. So if you can't come to an agreement with Saquon Barkley, you can't put the franchise tag on him, and Saquon might be bye-bye. So I was kind of thinking that the Giants would try to get something done with Daniel Jones, and if worse came to worse, put the franchise tag on Saquon, right, and then, which is only $10 million. That would definitely save themselves some money there. Okay, and they can keep Saquon's services for at least one more year. But I said, look for Daniel Jones, 35 to 37, right? For maybe a short term. I don't want to keep hearing on these podcasts and stuff like that. A shorter term deal, 3 to 5 years, right? 5 at the most, for 35 to 37 million. I mean, I wouldn't give him 40. I mean, he had a good year, but 40 million, 40 and over. That's right now. That's a bit much. But I said 35 to 37 for Daniel Jones. Look for him to sew it up, 3 to 5 years, right? Hopefully they get it done before free agency. So they got, free agency starts about 5 weeks, I think it was like the 15th, something like that of March. So we got like 5 weeks. It ain't long, guys. Before you know it, free agency will be here. Before you know it, the draft will be here. And we're getting ready to start the season all over again. But we got 5 weeks left free agency. So I said 35 to 37 for Daniel Jones, a 3 to 5 year deal. Sounds about right for me. Well, it's been 40 minutes, guys. Anybody spent any time at all watching any of this? Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It really does mean the world to me. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.